Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call our committee as a whole meeting to order. Will you please take the roll?
Councilmember Sherburne.
Here.
Councilmember Dittrich.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Here.
Councilmember Hamel. Here. Councilmember Gray.
Here.
Welcome, everybody. Nice to see everybody's faces again. We have a couple special meeting items. We're gonna, is that just the one?
Just the one.
Yeah, it's got 3 things underneath it. No example, but anyway. Consider approval of resolution 26, approving contract and performance and payment bonds for the 26 Anderson Street improvement projects. I'll speak to it.
So this is just another step in the project process. We already awarded the contract to Eastern Iowa. They have gotten the contract and submitted it back with the performance or payment bonds. So now it's just a matter of the council approving the actual contract.
If there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Okay. I'll second.
Any other questions for anybody? Bill?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Brian?
Yeah.
And Joe?
Yes.
And Mayor Dunn. Okay. On to our committee whole agendas. First, Wes, you're here again tonight to see us. Yes, okay. And I think everybody got a letter, received an email from them.
Yeah, I did include a copy as a in case you hadn't had an opportunity to see it.
Okay. We're just gonna have some discussion. Does anybody have anything, or I don't know if you want to come up here, Wes, or you want to just sit back there?
No, I wanted to be here for any questions and thought I'd share additional thoughts and just kind of perspective in that email. So, but yeah, I can answer any questions in addition.
Okay,
So,
thank you, Wes.
yeah, thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
So, sorry for being a little bit behind the eight ball. I did do a lot of digging on this. So out of that 312 is actually a little low. I looked it up on Beacon, it's 338. And then we get 40% of whatever that would be, correct?
Yeah, roughly 40% is what comes to the city.
So we'd be looking at like roughly $136 a year is what we make off that property. Whereas if we move forward with this, we'd be making water rates and increased taxes.
No, you wouldn't get taxes.
Not for the first chunk of time, but if you wait, I mean, I know he's asking for 15-year 100% of our portion. We can't do anything about the school district or the county, of course. But our portion, we get $136 for our portion compared to roughly, what was it, $14,300 or $440 a year for water rates.
Roughly, depending on, obviously occupancy and
Right,
water
right.
usage.
And
But roughly,
yeah, and then we'd be roughly, it'll be over $10,000 a year roughly that we'd get off of that property if we move forward with it.
for water and sewer.
For taxes, property taxes.
For property taxes, roughly in that neighborhood.
Yeah, after, I mean, our portion anyway.
Yeah, and just for the council's awareness too, that is a multi-family residential. So it does qualify for the residential rollback.
Right.
So if, it wouldn't be taxed of a full 1.6 or whatever the final value is. It'd be tax based. Last year was 47% of the total value. This year that we're budgeting for, the rollback's 44%. So, right there, that reduces some of the tax.
And the state
obligation.
wants to keep rolling it back.
Yeah.
Do you know the last time that we had anybody come to us? I asked you before the meeting, but just for the public's knowledge, the last time that anybody had asked for demolition costs to be covered or helped?
For an incentive.
Yeah.
I am not aware of any tip incentives that we've done with demolition costs.
Has there
included.
been an event where it was needed?
Well, it would have been probably the Hyde factory, but Joe Hildebrand paid for all of that. I was trying to think of what else was demolished out that way.
The foundry.
Foundry.
Okay, foundry. Old Doc Darrell's foundry.
Isn't that the high, isn't that the same as the high factor?
Nothing too relevant.
Okay.
Hawkeye Foundry's down?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Who owns that?
XL trailers,
Oh.
well, I don't know, Joe owns it, but I don't know if XL
I thought you were gonna go.
on there. That's where all our trailers are.
Sure,
parked at.
that's part,
Yeah. I was just curious if anybody had ever asked before for it.
And we've never really done it. It was usually just for adjacent properties.
For, like,
It's
residential.
residential, it's the only time we've ever done it.
Like if you owned a house and the house next to you was dilapidated and it came up for sale, we give a grant of a certain portion to assist in
Mhm.
you demolishing it. So that you could have that lot for yourself. You had to keep it as a lot.
Right.
You couldn't just demolish it and sell it as a buildable lot. But that's been several years since we've done that program.
Well, I appreciate Wes you putting this out on paper. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of a recap. Personally, I am not in favor of the grant, the 50,000. The way I look at it, that was your decision to buy that property, tear it down. So to me, that's your cost. So that's where I stand on that issue. As far as the 15-year, I believe from what I continue to hear, and I had a conversation with Aaron, what we have historically done, I'm in favor of a 10-year. And I'll say that 85%, I'm gonna put that out there to be consistent, and I understand your case about, we try to and I would appreciate that maybe the council can come to a standardized process on this regardless to help developers.
Wonderful idea.
I think we have to be fair to other developers. I have received some calls too, so I've gotten some input from that. So that's where I would stand. And so I laid that out there for group discussion here. And honestly, I love the project. Don't get me wrong. And I don't think any one of us would say we're not happy with this, or what have you. It's just what the city can do, and with the state continue with the rollbacks and our spoke that's where I'm coming from.
Right.
And I agree with you totally, Ryan. So
Brian, do you have anything?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that we're stuck on that 85. And I know I harped on it previously. I'm just trying to look at the bigger picture as far as trying to work with the developers and trying to move the city forward and help you guys out. I have had several calls myself on this that basically relaying that we should stick to our guns or open it up to the rest of the developers to, get 100% as well. So there it is,
Right.
pull our finger out of the dike now,
Right.
that's what's gonna happen. Which is that a bad thing? I don't know. It depends on whether we want to move the city forward with the housing and also the helping out with businesses. I think Excel's in the process of expanding every year, means more people, which is gonna fill that, which is gonna increase everything for us. I just can't get over that hump of here's where we've been, do we make the jump now and pull our finger out of the dike and for you on this project, that's where I'm stuck in the mud right now.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it with all the developers, I just take the name and the face away from it. I just look at the project personally. When I sit and I look at like as a business decision, which is hopefully how we would look at this is, from business aspects, it just to me seems like I'm pretty shocked that there's so much hesitation to want to do the project. It's slum and blight. We're not making hardly, $136 a year roughly for the next 15 years that we give up is essentially what we're giving up. Not talking about the demolition aspect of it. It seems like there's not much support behind that aspect of it, but just the project itself.
Well, I would disagree with that. I'm speaking again for myself. I'm in support of the project. The financial part is where the rub comes for me.
Right.
Well,
Well,
the city.
other communities are more aggressive with their packages that they offer than we
Well,
are.
I don't want us to be comparing apples to oranges.
Right.
You can got apples to apples.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
City of Marion or City of Cedar Rapids has a lot more different things than what the city of Manchester
Right.
has to compare.
We have been giving 85% for 10 years. And how many housing units have we built in the last 5 years, 400 and something. So it's not like
It has
housing
been
has
successful.
ended because of this. I think it's important to remain at 85 because that's what we've expected these other people to work off of. I think that when you change in the middle of this housing boom, I'm gonna call it, because that's basically what we have going right now. Then do we turn around and give everybody the 100% because we've changed our minds? See, I don't believe in that. I believe that 85% was enough for them to go forward with their project for the 10 years. They all seem to be doing well. They're placing people in them. They're getting the money back. You know, you can talk about bringing in money to the sewer and the water, but that's not money out of my general fund. That's money that's gonna go to Perry and to Chad for the water and the sewer, which is great because they need that money too. But the point is, it's not helping our bottom line in that general fund, because when this comes in, what's gonna happen is now you're gonna have still streets to deal with. You're gonna have to pay electric for the streetlights. You're gonna have more people, which means more chance of needing police presence. All of that becomes bigger. And if nothing's going into our general fund, we're losing money again. You know? And so I feel like we have to keep something in that general fund to support this project too. And I feel like if you give up everything and you don't ask for anything for the general fund, we're basically saying then that we're gonna lose money so that West can build this. And I don't believe the city should lose money so that West or anybody else, sorry, West, or anybody else can build a project. I think we still have to have something in that general fund, and the way we do it is by taking the 85% for 10 years instead of giving it all away for 15 years.
Wes, can I ask you, I know when I went for a table and I asked if you, would hash the numbers out, see if you could do it at the 85-10. Is it still a doable, viable thing?
I guess then, I mean, this with construction costs and everything going up, it's razor thin, and I guess a couple points. One is if you were to take the home that you currently live in and take that home and place it in that neighborhood, would you feel comfortable about your value of your home? That's the kind of lens I'm looking at this
Makes sense.
with as well. You know what I mean? It's riskier. So, and then secondly, I don't know how long ago it was, but you guys did have an abatement or, tax abatement program, which is a straight line abatement. And I believe that was 85% or 100% over 10 years,
Did the state?
which is,
We did a brief period where we went a little bit higher. I think you had requested it maybe
Yeah.
for
and that helps
the
for
first apartments.
Wasn't that 100% for the first 5 years and then trickled down?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Averaged
85%
85 by
over
the
10
time.
years, but that was an actual 85% on the developer side. When you take this, it's not a net 85%, you know, so, and that opportunity was available for, I mean, anybody can do these
Just be a
developments.
bunch of
and,
people doing.
You know, so,
The
but,
remodels.
but
and
to
their
have
house too, yeah.
but to have a standardized TIF program per citywide, I don't think is a wise move. You know what I mean? I think you have unique areas, you have unique dynamics between water, sewer, areas, what that particular area needs. It's like looking at a city street and saying, you know what, we're only gonna pay X amount per city street. Well, you can't really compare apples to oranges.
It's the
you know?
same way that the state does it too, so we're both kind of playing with those games of odds and what can risk, because every time we think we've got it figured out for how we can do it, the state changes the laws and how it can be implemented or how it can be done.
Yep.
So we're all playing with those, and that's why the council's been really good, I think, and fiscally responsible by saying 10 years on lots of things, so that we've done it with just about every project that we've done, no more than 10 years, anything, any bonds we've taken out or anything like that, because we wanted to make sure we aren't holding people even further after us,
For,
you know,
Yeah.
from continuing to be progressive. So,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, you guys are playing it from that side and we're playing it from this side.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
and at the same token too, I don't wanna lose sight of the overall, like financials are important here,
Right.
obviously.
right.
But from a community standpoint, the overall ripple effect that happens
Oh,
between
exactly.
water, sewer, the neighborhood, the revitalization, the one bedroom housing stock, everything that I kind of mentioned in the email in terms of the broadness that this impacts is, it's not just the money piece. It is a broader ripple effect that happens for the community in a good way, so.
Well, we don't want to get in the point where we don't have enough housing for the workforce that we have coming. Or to continue to support the workforces that we have. I totally get that. It's just right now, it's too rich for us. That's the bottom line, I think, is what I'm hearing from the council. It's not that we don't want to work with you, we want to work with you, but.
And we want the project to go ahead. It's not that we don't like the project. I agree with Diane. I think we all approve of the project. We just can only do so much, and we're doing as much as we can, and we're hoping you do as much as you can, and that we get a new set of apartments.
So, so the other aspect of this potentially is there's 2 additional parcels that could be developed close by. 504 Lincoln Street, which could be a single family home, and 501 Grand Street could be a duplex there as well. So, I mean, obviously I just focused on this as kind of the core development over there, but maybe there's a way to evaluate more of a broad package type deal in that neighborhood. It would really light a lot of stuff on fire over there in a good way. If there's interest in talking more broadly, I guess I don't know how that works, Aaron. That might be your department.
I mean, that would be a council decision, and probably we would maybe bring in Maggie Berger, or ideally it would be good to get the new city manager on board.
Bingo.
And get them,
Bingo.
get them started in the position, because they might bring some fresh ideas or perspective with them. Things maybe that we're not looking at.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, your thought there, I like hearing that because I think that could take off additionally, so I think that's value, but hearing, I know that you wanna go.
Yeah.
But I think we need the city manager, we're at that crossroads
Yeah.
of, but I do like hearing that about if we could have a couple more lots develop, and that can really help kickstart. I think apartments and houses are 2 different things, so that's where I'm like, that has an interest to me,
Right.
Wes.
Well, I think too, 15 years, 100%, 10 years, 85%. I mean, there's in between there too, that potentially you guys can consider as well to make the world turn, so.
And I think having our new city manager here, like Aaron said, having fresh, maybe they've experienced something else that we're not looking at.
Yeah.
And, I'm not disrespecting, what we've been doing, because Tim did a great job for us all and everything. But, when we kind of started talking about this, I know you addressed something here. He just said some things might be coming down the pike. It wasn't like
Right.
a decision had been made. He was like, we're talking about this, we're still working on things.
Yeah,
And so-
however, I thought you guys were briefed on this.
We were briefed.
And I asked 3 to 4 times for a
Yeah.
LOI, like, hey,
Yeah.
where are we at? Before you leave, I need
Yeah,
something to stand on so I
Right.
know where I'm at.
right.
And
Yeah, but,
it's unfortunate that we had to
yeah.
discuss this
Timing,
publicly
yeah.
and
Yeah.
again.
Timing's
so-
it was an unusual timing,
Yeah.
and that,
so,
Yeah, I also think that if you're interested in doing housing instead of, houses, there's gonna be grants available for that you're gonna be able to get. You go to ECIA and they're gonna have grants available because you're working in blighted
In a blighted
area
area.
and that type of thing. And so I think it's gonna be a different situation than the apartments, because they don't deal with the apartments in these kinds of grants, but they do deal with homes. And if you can take down a home and put up a new one in a blighted area like that, they have grants available that are gonna be really helpful to you. And so that might be a way too, that, we could help you to get a grant through ECIA or something. But I know that there are grants out there available for those kinds of things. So, yeah, so it's worth a shot. I just bring it up as a possibility
Yeah.
and something that we should look at together.
My thoughts, I'm kind of with a lot of the other ones. I'm, 85-10. I look at kind of the long term, but a lot of our infrastructure on that end of town is older, correct?
Mhm.
So our problem is when you start doing a duplex, I don't know how big our sewer lines over that route, even though we're gonna get water, we're gonna get sewer,
Thought about that.
we could be eating up a lot of streets and tearing up stuff because the sewer isn't big enough. I mean, we realized what happened when they built the sheriff's office out there,
Yeah.
and we had to start doing a lift station for there and fixing this and fixing that. So, yeah, I'm kind of on that same structure. I think we need to stay at that 85-10 is my 2 cents on it. I worry about the infrastructure down the road.
Mhm.
Not that it wouldn't be a good deal, but I'm not the expert on what the size of piping is over there and what the water lines are like and how much more if we go to high pressure, how much we're gonna,
Good point.
be eating up down the road for the whole town. So,
So all things we need, okay, it's a
Yeah.
good point, Bill.
How big is the sewer and water main and stuff over there?
Sewer main on South Third is 8 inch. I mean, it's 20 big for a little bit of flow we have over there right now with, a lot of the houses being empty or getting remodeled. Water main, I'm not really sure, Chad, what it was.
It's a 4-inch main.
The street main.
Out there.
Like
In Lincoln.
there.
Rebalance forward, but that's already high pressure, so the pressure, once we do that project, it's not gonna be any difference. Which the housing we have over there, yeah, all 4-inch needs to be updated, but that one needs to be updated because of this project. Those water main, those things have all been discussed with us and where the locations of all those things are. Wouldn't think anything that our end would need to be.
No, what's the existing sewer that came out of that
Yeah.
school, had its own
Next.
brick manhole in the playground area that
Mm.
would need to be upsized to work for the apartment complex, but no, that would all be on the developer, not on the city, so
Okay.
we shouldn't review it on what we have over there right now.
How old's the street, Lincoln Street?
Lincoln would have been redone in the 80, too far back, 92 project, 92, 93.
We just.
We re-overlaid Third Street.
3 years, 4 years ago.
Okay, but Wilbur Street hasn't been touched since about 93, but it's just a mill, it was milling overlay at the time. Actually, in 92 or 3 was curb and gutter and a new asphalt street, but.
That was the first assessment one, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
that-
right.
None of the underground was touched at that time.
Probably wouldn't be too much increase in traffic on Third Street, just with, Henderson's and XL there, that's
No,
pretty
your-
well
your
founded as it
industry-
is.
Your industry takes care of the streets
Yeah.
itself, so.
Thanks, guys. 2028, roughly about what it would cost us to give them 100% tax abatement over 13 years. That's what we would give up, roughly. Just food for thought.
2,000 what?
28
Total?
total dollars is what the city would, our portion that we would vacate over 15 years is roughly based off the property sitting the way it is now.
Oh, not once it's developed.
Well, if you do the tax abatement for the 15 years, year 16, you're gonna start pulling in just, 10.7 or something like that, I think is what the
Just
number
trying to
was.
figure out what you're saying.
I
I
couldn't
understood.
do that.
Now you
But you
understand.
need to look at 85% over 100% for 10 to 15 years to find out for sure.
Right.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah, it's just rough estimate, not knowing, really what everything's gonna go up or down or whatever, so.
What the legislature's gonna do. with
Right.
Taxes.
Just what we have right now, what we can look at right now and know.
Okay, any other questions for us or? I guess we're in the same place, I guess, and, you know, if you wanna look at another option, I mean, and like I said, we hope to have a city manager here real soon, but I don't know, I know you gotta keep moving and doing what you need
Yeah.
to do, so.
No, that may be good perspective because, I mean, this is for a city manager and TIF in a blighted area, it's like textbook
Mhm.
101
Mhm.
development, and they might have a better perspective than I have on this even, you know, so.
Can I ask a question? And I don't mean to put
Yeah.
you on the spot here, but I think about, you know, we've got lots of, you know, what do I call them, apartment complexes around town. And we've got some of them now that aren't even owned by people who live in our community. We're very lucky you're here and doing that. What happens? I mean, do you have a succession plan or something? I mean, that's a private conversation they have later.
Succession plan.
Okay. But I was wondering.
That's it.
Well, you know, sometimes kids don't always want to do what their parents are doing now. So,
True, yeah.
you know, that kind of scares me a little bit too, with as many of them that I'm seeing around town now too, because some of them are requiring more resources from the community than others. And I want them to continue to be nice areas for us all. So, yeah.
Absolutely, and I
Yeah.
think we work our tail off to treat people well, to screen people, to
Mhm.
keep properties well kept and nice and provide quality housing at the end of the day. So I think, I'm 42 years old, so I'm, you know, I enjoy doing this and Manchester is very important to me. I wouldn't be investing like I am in a downward community. So, and I'm very mindful of how things are gonna impact the community. So, but yeah, you know, I'm hopeful some of my kids are involved someday, but yeah,
Okay.
the goal is to continue to
Okay.
just do well,
Okay.
you know, so.
That's just a curious question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Is Westbrook all full?
Close. We got a few musical chairs and some random openings, but for the most part, they've soaked up really well. Obviously, we have a good relationship with our manufacturers. They bring people in, families, single people. That's why I kind of slated this more towards one bedrooms, because some of these individuals don't necessarily need a two bedroom. And you know, and again, the price point to try and keep things affordable is a big deal, because not everybody wants to own a $250 or $350,000 home. They would rather lease and have things taken care of. So, so yeah, there's a lot of dynamics that kind of come into this, and to try and build things affordable and, you know, take the risk in a up and coming neighborhood. So, no, but yeah, for the most part, we've done full. So,
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, we thank you.
thank you guys.
Continuing the conversation. It's not over yet.
Right.
It's not over. We'll still keep talking.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like a
Go
deal.
take my kids.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Parking violations and fine review.
Chief Davis brought this, to my attention. They're almost out of parking tickets, so looking to reprint. So I wondered when the last time was that the fee had been increased. It has not been increased since we adopted the alternate side parking ordinance in 2009. So what he is proposing is to increase the fine from, I think it's from $10 to $20. And then add $10 onto the other fees, that go along with that. So, I just wanted to bring it to you here before I brought it to council meeting, to see if that was something you would be supportive of, or do you want to wait on that?
Personally, I think they should go up. I paid parking ticket myself, $10 isn't enough.
It doesn't keep anybody from not doing it.
No, not at all.
No, they still screaming the minute they get charged with it.
Yeah.
They're screaming like crazy. You're like, it's $10.
All right, if you're okay, then I'll draft an ordinance and have it on the agenda today for first reading.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, we have Park Street equipment discussion.
I think Doug's gonna start us out on this.
Jason May, tag man. So you guys have the bids, right?
Yes.
So we have the bid from Bonesteiner and Bid Innovator. We're looking at about just a hair under 39,000 to replace the John Deere. So we have 30 budgeted in this year's budget, 15 from the parks, 15 from the streets. Again, this is a machine that does mowing and snow, gets used by both departments for both projects. This one here would have would include a bucket, a new mower, and a new blower. And then we would also have a broom on it that we can use to broom off trails and parking lots and things like that. The additional 8,900 could come out of our trail maintenance fund. And then after the machine comes in, then we would put our existing one out for bid. We do have a couple of options for trade-in, but I think we feel like it's a little bit more valuable
Doing it on your own.
market than what the trade is. So
Gotcha.
then we would have that, we'd get that when it comes in, and we would put that out in bid.
So we're actually getting some other implements with.
Yeah, so that would, exactly, yep. Bucket, broom, blower, and mower, yep.
There's a lot of times JJ gets into some spots in the parks with that lighter tractor instead of us going in with the skid loader. The bucket would be handy for putting mulch around and just odds and ends things in the parks for him that,
Yeah.
you know, if you could use it for that. And not have to tie up the skid loader and it's heavier in the parks, obviously.
And it works real nice. I've had a buddy of mine brought his 1025 over and we threw a rock around doing some landscaping and stuff. It doesn't tear up the grass near as much as the skid loader will, and the bucket's real nice attachment to have.
And the broom, we've been talking about a broom for a
Yeah,
long
we've
time.
been trying, we've rented them from Palmer's from time to time, but it's really good. I mean, you've got sand on the trails throughout the year, and then you've got the goose poop problem that the room can take care of. It can get gravel out of the grass, we can use it on multiple parking lots and so on, so. Be nice to have, and the bucket definitely will be nice to have as well.
And this would have a cab on it then?
Yeah,
Is the cab removable or it's on all the time?
it's a fixed drops cab.
Okay,
Yeah, so the door would come off
Oh.
in the summertime and then the windshield opens up, so it's a
The windshield does, or just the back glass?
Back of the
glass.
door.
Back glass.
Back glass and doors.
And, but yeah, it's just to get some air through it in the
Right.
summertime. And we looked at it both ways, we're like, and it is with the top over it, at least should be shaded, you know, get a little air through it.
Kind of goes both ways. It's nice to take it off, but then it also has, no sun on you.
Right.
And then it should be a lot more airtight for the winter for when they're in the cold.
Right. And this is gonna sound probably about as worse as it possibly can, but as the operator sat in its 1025, is he comfortable in it? I know the one he's got now is a little tight.
Yeah, we'll make sure with that with JJ, and make sure that but
He's fairly excited that I think this will be much better for him. I think he agrees.
Well, and them smaller tractors and cabs, I mean, even myself being in it is a little crumbling, so.
the nice part is it's fixed so the heat in it in the winter time will be a lot better. I don't know, seal up the cracks and things like that, so.
Was Golden Center below? Or was it
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, it kind of went both ways. One, if we traded it, if that changed it, but they're low if we just buy outright,
Mhm.
so.
Where was the trade-in value for Rotor?
It should be in there. It was
49.50.
49.50, I believe.
No, for our unit, if we traded it in, what would they give us?
49.50.
Oh, 49.50.
right in the middle,
Oh, yeah, here you go.
rotary, right there.
Well, no,
Tag your-
well, yeah, I did ask him after we had talked, you guys had mentioned a tool cat, so I did ask him just to get an estimate on a tool cat, because I was curious. And, yeah, if you guys wanna hit on it a little bit.
I did it for just budgetary, so we had some numbers to throw out there and so you have them. The uses for that, it would be mainly be a trail machine, but we could use it for a lot of, obviously it could be used for a lot of things.
Yeah.
All of our Bobcat attachments that we have now for our skid loader will work on the tool cat. So the only thing that we added to that was a V plow and also a broom, that's questionable of putting the broom on the other tractors. So that's something that could be, I just had them put that on there so it was food for thought to have for that also, so.
Yeah, as soon as I have that, and But one of the drawbacks was you wouldn't be able to do some of the.
That 4 foot, yeah, so we're kind of, it's adding to the machines, it wouldn't be taking place of.
Yeah, but we'd still do the John Deere, but I just was curious how much a tool cap would cost, because thinking about like the summertime and all the events we have, the garbage that I have to go around and pick up. You guys got me thinking it would be handy
It
to
would
be
be a
able to.
spectacular piece of machinery, it just can't replace
Obviously,
the John
yeah.
Deere version of the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think when we shot our numbers that day, I think I said we're probably around 80,000
And
by
it
the time
was-
we got done, it was,
77.8.
yeah, that was with 2 extra attachments. So it's just, it was kind of, yeah, they're not cheap,
They don't give them away.
yeah, but.
But they're gorgeous and the utility of those machines are just amazing.
Yeah, and it would, they'd be used on trails, so it would
Yeah.
truck off the trails.
Yeah, that's the word, it'd be the nicest part of it in the early snow season. Something that's not quite as heavy on the trails to plow with and that kind of stuff.
Well, when you guys go to do mulching, if you got some smaller jobs, you can build that up, it's got a box on
I mean,
it.
it really could double as another vehicle for the parks guys all summer too.
Mhm.
In and out of
So
parks.
does that mean you guys don't need another park truck?
I mean, it could replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, park truck is cheaper, but yeah, no, it's, I mean, we take trucks from all the parks.
Right.
It's nice to be a little bit more usable, but yeah. I mean,
The nice part is we have almost all the attachments.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because with the skid loader, we have all that stuff, so that's, we're not buying buckets and
Right.
forks and all those, that kind of stuff, so. That was just something we wanted to follow up with, so everybody had an idea of what was.
So for Monday, if the council vote, I'll have the Bogensteiner, quote for the mower on the agenda.
Yep.
Because that was budgeted in this year's budget.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next we get to talk about pet waste.
So Doug came to me on Friday.
I'll take this again.
You wanna do?
Okay, so it's kind of funny how this came about. So I have a gentleman that has donated money for trees at Central Park over the years. And so I gave him a tour of the dog park, and so he gave me some money for some trees in the dog park as well. And he had said, really want you to I saw this in another community, I really want you to put it up at the dog park. And so I kind of saw it, I laughed at it, I giggled, I thought it was kind of cute, and I said, yeah, of course. And to be honest with you, it would be good at a lot of the parks. So I was getting ready to send it off to get some signs made, and I needed to know the number of our ordinance, and we don't have one.
No.
Specifically dealing with,
Not specifically,
Yes.
it could be covered under our nuisance ordinance, but it's kind of hidden in there. So we went and looked at some codes and, pulled up Monticello's code, and they have a section specific to animal waste that just talks about, it could be a municipal infraction if you don't pick up after your animal, and it also addresses a little bit kennels, making sure that they're kept clean.
Oh,
Which is nice to do.
So,
let's talk about cats too.
yeah.
and so I mean, obviously, I think we
Yeah.
did something that's a little bit more,
Yeah.
whimsical
This is
and,
adorable.
yeah, but it's kind of a neat concept.
Yeah, so we just thought it would be handy to have it specifically spelled out in the code that you need to pick up after your dog, because.
That would be great.
it'd be-
Yes.
You go up to your bomb park and it's.
Bomb is pretty bad. Shram is real bad.
Mhm.
But those two places are both way worse than the dog park. The dog park, we don't really have a whole lot of issues, but it's still kind of a funny sign, so I think it would look neat there. But I would put them up in a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
In every
Dog. Every park.
Probably where every place we have
Trails.
either a trail or a dog park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have plenty of those around, there's no reason people should.
It's amazing how lazy or
Mhm.
irresponsible some. It's kind of wild.
So if you're okay with adding language, I'll bring a first draft of that ordinance to the meeting on Monday for council.
Okay, and then once we get the number, I will get that sent out with some seconds.
Okay,
Great.
perfect. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Alright, publication timeframe for the ordinance update.
So the state legislature last year, passed legislation that switched, publication requirements for cities. Before that had been, some things required 10, not less than 10 days, not more than 20, some required 4 and 20, some required 7 and 20. it was really hard to keep track. So last year they passed legislation that everything is a straight 4 and 20. You have to publish it at least 4 days before, but not more than 20 days before. So we just need to update our code to reflect what's in the, what was passed by the state.
Okay.
So I'll just be bringing an ordinance with all the different sections where it references, the time frame, primarily budget, and then zoning and board of adjustment items are where the publication dates are at. So
Monday.
I'll be bringing that Monday for review.
So the same thing, meetings and to.
No, meetings are still as they are. This is just for like public hearing notices.
Okay. Engineering updates, who wants to go first, Sam or Jason?
I'll go first then.
A lot. Pre-con meeting for Anderson Street Thursday, 10 a.m. here. Utility coordination letter has been sent out for 2027 Anderson Street improvements. We got that on last Friday, so utilities can kind of get going on their things. We asked to have for them to be completed by December. So we'll continually follow up and share plans with them as design progresses. I'm looking to probably start field work likely later this week, so you might see a surveyor out there, getting some topo and whatnot. Had a discussion with staff last week, Tuesday, kind of about downtown, just gonna revise, still looking at things, and reviewing the area and kind of staging and what we think is gonna kind of work best before I get it out there and discussing with council. But water booster pumps, DNR had a few questions on the report, so we're kind of making some revisions and getting that back to them. So that's all I have unless there's any questions. Okay.
Thanks, Sam.
Jason.
Just a reminder, DOT letting is next Tuesday for the grant for the trail for the walkway project. And as I mentioned before, DOT has a late start date for right after fair completed before start of school. There's a chance that the awarded contractor could come and ask to maybe do it sooner. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. The Marion Street Bridge, talked with Kirk and Michael. We're still very early on in the process. Probably aren't going to get too deeply involved with a lot of things until the new city manager kind of on board to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts, making sure he's kind of on board from the ground level on that project as we move forward with that. I believe Anthony had a conversation with Aaron about that a week ago, but we're doing fine from timing standpoint on that project right now. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jason.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let ladies go first tonight. Allison.
We have something to share. This is dealing with library legislation that will directly affect the council. If it passes. So I have my notes, and I'm just gonna tell you, there's 2 library bills. One specifically affects the city council. The first one is House File 2622. It is a multi-tiered bill that would remove the independence of library boards and place the authority with city councils. It would withhold tax funding for implementing current standards and limit access to libraries for minors. The part that I'm really concerned about is the part that I copied for you on the next page, and I have the highlights of where it talks about library board and how it would affect you. So we may have an advisory board, so we can have an advisory board, but it would not be in charge of anything anymore as far as budget. Well, you guys give me the budget, but they decide how to divvy it out and spend it and things. So you would be in charge of all that. The advisory board would have to review all library materials. So like 20,000 things, they would have to review them all to make sure they're age appropriate, which I don't know what that means. It doesn't spell it out, but then the city council has to approve what that board has decided on every single material. The city council would be responsible for library policies. You would have to amend the policies, and the library director cannot chair the advisory board. So I don't know if that means I can't even be there. I don't know what that means for that. And I would not be able to help find new members, which I don't. I'm not the person that does, appoint them, but I do sometimes give opinions on people who are library supporters and things like that would be good for the library. I won't be able to do that anymore. And it just so you understand that what is crossed out is what's being removed, what's underlined is what's being added, and when they have no defining marks, that's what would stay the same. So I only gave you the part that deals with just the council. So I did give you the website that you can go to and read the whole thing, dealing with all the rest of it.
So who decides what's age appropriate?
I don't know. I don't know how, that's a question that I don't know.
It's just.
Yeah, my worry is, being on the library board, though, my library board gets training almost every single month, on library related things, and I don't know how, they're so specialized, I don't know how you guys would be able to do that, plus it's just so much more work that you guys don't want, I know you don't want it, and so that is my biggest thing that I don't think legislators understand that.
No, they don't.
They don't understand what a board does for the city to be able to help, run that library. If we don't have a board that can govern the library, then it's you guys, and then you have to make all those decisions and be the people that do the work that the library board does. So I just want to let you know that there's a second one too that eliminates public school and public library partnerships.
St. Mary doesn't have a library, I think.
Yeah, we're kind of back and forth. I don't know how, reading it, I'd have to get more information on that. Reading it is public schools and charter schools. And I think the intent is for places like Dubuque, who allow kids to come in with their school ID and just check out a book, like without having a library card. They can do that. There's a couple places that
There's
do
a
that.
big problem with letting people read or what?
Evidently.
Living in Footloose.
I actually was thinking about looking into it for here because I thought, oh, that'd be awesome. Like if middle school and up could just come in and they wouldn't have to, worry about that. But I don't know how it worked. I was going to talk to the Dubuque guy, and I'm not going to do any of that now until we know what's going on. But the first one is the one that really would affect you guys, and I wanted to talk to you about it so that you knew. And if you want to,
I wrote a letter already.
Yeah, if you want to speak to anybody, about this, it did pass through the funnel, so it will be going probably to debate, and I do worry that it will go through. So
Do you know who came up with House File 2622?
Skylar Wheeler and somebody else, I can't remember, but Skylar Wheeler is the main person.
What about the other one?
Probably the same, I have to look. I gave you both those, you can look and it'll say right on the side who did that, but I believe it's him for
The
both.
back away for book banning, that's all. In my opinion.
So, if you have any more questions or anything, just let me know, you can email me, whatever, I will hopefully have more information in the coming weeks. I don't know what else, like how it goes to the next funnel, I don't know how that gets through that, they have to talk about it, debate it before or
I was
what.
hoping it was gonna get stopped, cause it's.
I know, it's every year, it's kind
So I
of
was
been
aware
stopped,
of
this
that
year
for
it's
your-
not, so,
okay.
yeah, so anyway, just wanna
Still
let you
water.
know what it kind of says and how it affects you guys, and so if you feel like it's something that you're worried about.
And how it's gonna affect our citizens and our community and our, yes.
So anyway, not good news, I'm sorry. Yep.
Well, yeah, you need to also call Dan and everybody else because they're the ones who vote and they know us.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Al.
Okay, well, Randy, I'll work this side of the room on this stuff.
I don't have a whole bunch. We did sell one truck.
Which one?
So, 176. The one that had the most water, that would hold the most water, but that was the one that everybody seemed to really want. So it's down in Missouri somewhere,
Okay.
The proceeds from that sale went to the fire truck reserve in the city's accounting system.
So we still have
the other 2 trucks are for sale. And if they sell, then we'll deal with that. We'll probably start looking for replacement pumper. I think we talked about doing that in fiscal 27.
Right.
So we'll try to probably looking for a new pumper here pretty quick. And other than that,
You had an event this weekend.
we had.
Ed called me just as I was leaving to go to Cedar Rapids, so I couldn't.
So, yeah, so we had the fire chiefs of the Iowa Fire Chiefs Association was here this weekend. We had a small crowd, but they're trying to get it back into prominence again. So we had a little reception Friday night, and the meeting was held up in Edgewood. It was kind of it was a joint between us and Edgewood. So the meeting was up in Edgewood, and then we had a little banquet here, back down here.
And then you got to have a fire yesterday.
And we got to have various.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke there.
There were a lot of
That was smoke, yeah.
One guy that was in Piasta said he saw the smoke from Piasta.
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, thank you for all you do.
What do you guys got going on tonight?
We are doing vehicle electrification tonight, DJs. So,
You said,
we're always trying to be safe, so see how much stuff we can cut up and break them.
And then just get me that information that you need me to write that letter or that
Okay.
welcome.
Yeah.
What you want me to do for that, I'll get that done. Everything else.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Any other questions for Randy? No, no. Thank you, Randy.
thank you.
Doug.
So I just wanted to share a couple stats here. We're winding down our adult sports leagues. We got 3 weeks left of basketball and 4 of volleyball. But for men's basketball league, there's 8 teams, and we have players from 17 different cities that play in our league. 75 total. So it's kind of goofy. We've got one that comes from Barneveld, Wisconsin, Central City, Strawberry Point, Dubuque.
Wow.
You know, like you name. So we do bring, it's not, mostly it's Manchester and Edgewood. There's some CR, some Cedar Falls, but it's just kind of cool. When they sign the roster, I always have put their city because I like to kind of see where everybody's from. So, just kind of a neat little stat to see. And then volleyball, we've got about approximately 70 players on 10 different teams. So just to give you an idea that it's not all Manchester, we do bring people into town for it as well. And some of them are fairly far away. And then tomorrow is the bids are due for Ballin Park Shelter. So you'll have, information memo coming on Monday's meeting, as well as for the mower. And then we've got a lifeguard class coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll make one last push to try to get that, completely filled up. It's always nice to get the first one out of the way because most of the people decide that they want to take the ones in May closer to, actually starting the summer job, and that one fills up faster. So, coming along, getting applications in, we're not too far away from summer.
Not soon enough.
Hustle proceeds. So, yeah, so we have, $10,000 from the Hero Hustle from last year. That will go towards, some will go to the K9, purchase, and a portion of that will also go towards, EMS training throughout the county. So typically in the past few years, we used to hit EMS training fairly hard because it's a need. It spreads it out throughout the county. They have a lot of training funding needs. And so we hit that, but the timing also matched up well for the K9 as well.
So we were able to get 4,500 for the K9, 4,500 for the EMS training.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you.
Doug. All right, Jeff.
Today was show up day, so we got a lot more friends made. Yeah, it's always a fun day. Other than that, we're going this past weekend trying to get more meters put in. Like Sam brought up about the VFD project. They kind of questioned what our need was for that. They're just making sure we're not doing this for the potential growth of our city. We just gotta kind of reword some things to make them understand that it's for what we already have. And yes, it is for potential growth, but it's more
towards
meet our needs.
fixing what we already created. So I think that was the only thing in there. So been in contact with Ryan Wicks, regarding some source of, I'll call it source water, but, flood mitigation stuff that, we're kind of handed off to him now with his work with IDALS. So hopefully we can see some traction in the next couple weeks on that, or before the spring, planting season starts, because then the farmers are kind of busy and don't really want to talk to us about city related stuff. Other than that, everything looks good.
Welcome back. Partially. Yeah.
You guys should be seeing, I think, Monday, the
water report.
our yearly report.
Oh, okay.
Or I have to do a few finishing.
Yeah, she normally makes it look way more pleasant for you guys. Got all of it. She does a great job.
Can I ask a silly question? And maybe it's not a silly question because my brain's still taken from our previous conversation. Even though we add more properties, does that really net us more revenue from water and stuff? Or it costs just as much to treat additional things, doesn't it?
Correct. So like, if we had that report sitting in front of us, I break it down to what it costs just to pump the water. That cost doesn't go down, you know, so on that, I break that down. If you look at it close, you can see what the per gallon cost would be before I bring it to the per thousand cost, because that's how we bill is per thousand.
Right.
It's pretty inexpensive to just pump water. But when you start running a department like what we run and distribute that water, that's when the numbers start adding up quickly. Now bringing in more revenue is always great, especially in an area where we already have infrastructure.
Correct.
So it's a little bit different way to look at it when you already have the infrastructure there, because it's a developed place already. We're not looking at how we're gonna pay for new
And I
infrastructure.
get that, yeah.
Yes, does it put added load on it? A little bit more, because you're in an area that already had residential housing. You had this is taking the place of a school building that already had water usage, already had sewer usage as well. So are we adding load? I would say not really.
Okay.
So that piece of that pie that you guys discussed earlier, in my opinion, I mean, yes, it's gonna bring revenue back, but
it's negated a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of how I.
You know, and we're no different, Barry and I, we're no different than Alliant. We're no different than Black Hills Energy. So, I mean, I understand wanting to bring that into the pie and all that into that discussion, but we are standalone. I mean, we're revenue based. So when you guys are thinking about what kind of a deal you're gonna make with a potential developer, you know, yes, we do bring in some extra money because we're gonna sell more water, but so are all the other utilities.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Question, if he does a project like that, will each apartment, each unit have their own new fancy water system in case it doesn't pay, or is it gonna be, you think, one water system?
So how we set them up is there'll be one water line feeding the bill. Then generally there's a utility space in the building that we have access to, and they're all individually metered. So then we can go in and shut them. So we try to keep that as simple as possible, to save the developers money and make it easy on us. We have not yet installed what we call the ally meters. That's our water meters that have the automatic shutoffs in them, because those are $450 compared to an iPearl. That's your normal standard one is like $175. So we don't go build it out with that in there. Be nice to someday afford doing that, because we frequent apartment buildings a lot when it's shut off day. But no, then we can go in and shut them off individually. We don't have to go into their apartment. We go into a utility space that like Wes, who was just here, he gives us a key. So we have a key to that space. We can go in and shut that particular apartment off. And then once they pay their bill, we can go back.
That's what I wondered. Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation. I was trying to wrap my brain on it, so I appreciate that. Good. Thank you. Jason.
Still working on, getting some sewer done. We've been a good stretch here. We're actually getting some stuff caught up on some of that stuff. The camera, we've used it a fair amount lately. Just on odds and ends, things that have popped up, and it's working great. It's awesome. We can just go back and hook up to it and make things that we need to do. And so, been spending a fair amount of time on airport things. We're working out some deals with an individual who wants to build a hangar possibly, so we're trying to get iron through that. Doug Herman will be back. I think he's back actually now, so we're gonna be contacting him to finish working our way through some contract stuff and things like that, but
And that'll all come back to the council before
Yeah.
anything's approved or
Yeah.
finalized.
We did have River City paving here at the last meeting and don't really have a date hammered out for sure yet when they're gonna be, but once things get up and going, we'll let you know on that too for the overlay and stuff out there. But, other than that, just a lot of odds and ends stuff in the street department, keeping equipment maintained and things like that between some snowstorms and stuff, so. But, that's the main stuff we got going on right now. I've been, working on some loader stuff. If we decide we're gonna go with a loader, getting some things put into place and maybe doing some demos and stuff here, so. But that's some big things we got going right now. Anybody got anything else?
How was the last snowfall for you guys?
It was okay. We'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, I'd just like to share something with you.
Yeah.
My brother lives in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I talked to him the other day. As of last Monday, he had 268 inches of snow.
Oh my goodness.
That, at that point, his mailbox he could no longer get to. They are not even delivering mail. He hasn't had mail now for 10 days. So he doesn't really know how much more snow they've gotten because he can't get to the mailbox. So I just wanted you to remember that.
Put it into
Perspective,
perspective.
I puts it into perspective. 268 before.
Why he goes to Florida. Yeah. No, it was fine. It was just, the forecast was 1 inch of snow the day before.
Yeah,
We're not even
exactly.
12 hours before, so
Yeah,
I had two guys at state wrestling, a guy at state pool. So it was a skeleton.
Yeah,
We
that's
plowed
what
the whole
Aaron
town
said you
with
were
6
down.
guys. It was like the Energizer bunny running around. It got
True, was down the middle. It really wasn't crowded.
yeah, no,
No.
that's fine.
It
it
looked
was-
fine. It was.
the timing of it.
Well, it started later,
Yeah.
in the morning.
I left home that morning at 2:30 and there was not much on my drive at all. And it snowed like crazy till 6:30. So by that time to do something with the downtown, the traffic's already.
Yeah, you're already.
And it wasn't no fun blowing it the next morning because it got extremely hard and we were shearing
Oh,
pins.
yeah.
So
Darn.
we'll just leave it at, it's done with.
Perry.
I too don't have anything crazy to add. UV starts on the 15th of this month. So a couple months ago, we decided to order some spare parts, thinking that it would be June. They showed up today.
Kidding, wow.
Both boxes had big holes in them.
They broken?
I've opened them both and they are all good in there, but we will put them in either late this week or early next week to see how everything goes. So shipping is kind of hard on that fragile stuff, but so we'll go from there. Chad, Jeremy and I will be at the AWWA meeting at Fairgrounds all day on Wednesday. The only big thing at the wastewater plant was, I think last Wednesday or Thursday, I got there in the morning at 6:30 and it was 40 degrees in the office. A couple of years ago, we replaced the furnace in the shop stalls and that, we replaced that old boiler out there. We have an outside unit for the office that had been acting up for the last 3 or 4 years, but it's been good for the last winter was good, but down on what was out, and we didn't get air back late that day, or heat back late that day, so we'll see what that becomes of, but that, that unit's 16, 17 years old now. So So we'll start looking at a few options there, and no, I don't have a price for you yet, Joe, but we'll work on it. Don't be cheap, I promise.
You're not cheap.
Other than that, with the new permit coming yet this year, I was a little leery about what was going on with where our plant would be classified for an operator, so I did take and pass my grade 4 last week.
Oh,
So
wonderful, congratulations.
if they do bump us to a grade 4, we will be in compliance when that gets here, so
Do you think that's likely?
I do. I really do. I think they're gonna probably push us to UV 12 months out of the year, and with the possibility of a few prospects coming in that I think that we'll see grade 4 soon, so. Hopefully not,
We're ready for it.
because the grade 4 changes, it'll up the testing and everything when you go to grade 4.
Is it because of the size of the town that they would do it, Perry, or why would they go to
For the
4?
flow, the loading on the plant, so.
Here we have a couple things coming online.
Yeah, which probably, the couple things that are coming online won't show up in us today, but with a few changes, I mean, they'll update your permit in the middle of the process if you get a big user, so. I was getting nervous and wanted to be prepared, so with the slower time this winter, I decided I would study and take it, so. See what happens.
Good job.
Congratulations.
So where's Matt at now?
Grade 1, he's actually studying and applying for his grade 2s in wastewater, so.
Wonderful.
Hoping to have that by before spring gets crazy busy. I did talk with Doug this morning too. We are with the warmer weather. There's a few things that need to get started at the swimming pool. The chlorine pump needs to get replaced, and
Which we have.
yeah, so we may be sneaking up there and trying to get ahead of a few things, because with that street project's probably gonna start at the end of March, early April. It's gonna get really busy all at the same
Hard to do
time.
that.
Yeah,
I'd rather get ahead of some of that stuff at the pool before it gets crazy
as well.
absolutely.
And Alliance already started replacing poles all over town. I know they have a ton more to replace this summer, so. One calls are really starting to pick up too with this warmer weather, so. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a long summer for locating, so.
You wanna bring up all that gas on the east end of stuff, there's a lot of work to do out there yet too.
No, I don't want.
Yeah.
From the fire station to the east city limits, all gas services need to get replaced from the new main they put in last
Okay.
Yeah.
to the house, so. The little bit that they truly disturbed last year will probably be considerably more than this summer.
On just Main Street,
Main Street
All that
from the
Main-
fire station,
but just Main Street.
just Main Street.
The way you said
So
it.
they have to.
It implies
replace that. though.
Everything bad.
So they put all new main out, but that doesn't include Tim Windstream. Under probably permits that we've approved, they're planning on upgrading everything through town too, so
Wow.
it will be. And I know Comelec got 100+ services on top of the ground now that they need to get plowed in, so. It'll be nonstop locates with all the projects that are going on too, so.
Right. They almost had some extra work to do at my grandma's house. They laid it all out on the ground and then it snowed. I went up there to plow. I got lucky.
I'm sure you're not the only one that's had that.
Yeah.
I seen that wire and I was like, oh.
Okay. Any other questions for Perry?
So that'll be from the new.
That new main they put in across the street from you,
Right.
yep, they will run that over.
Run
to-
that over.
To your meter, that's what I was told anyway.
Okay.
And at that point, we'll start, but there's a lot of
Cause I think.
asphalt patches and those sidewalks and
Yes,
everything out there that we think that we'll start cleaning that up where they can, but they're gonna have to tear out a lot more to do. So,
Hopefully, cause I know they hit, when they were excavating, they hit the gas main on mine and they put a new one in when they.
now then they might be good there, they might have it tied in.
And Sam, we let them know with this main project, right, that it would be a great time.
The Anderson Street, when they, Black Hills, to get up there this past
Yeah.
fall, summer, put all the
Right.
main element services up.
On East Main, Black Hills.
Yeah, and we say we usually notify any. Not one to be notified, oh no, it was the old one out there that we notified them of 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Didn't make a
so.
Okay,
So they'll pay for concrete too.
thanks, Perry.
Yeah, but they don't get the phone calls.
Tim, you saved the best for last.
Don't tell me that.
Not a whole lot. Farmers Savings Bank is coming along out there. They got a drywall, finishing the drywall. The hospital's addition is coming along pretty good. We got, I'd say 95% of it roughed in, and probably a third to half of it's starting to drywall on that already too. Down right now.
Do you wanna just update the whole council on the demolition that happened and the dumping, and then once you saw it?
Oh, for Lincoln School, Zinsser came in to tear that down. It was on, I was off that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They hauled away the first few days that, I believe it was, I'm not sure, I think it was that Thursday. They started dumping at the end of that Lincoln, yeah, kind of south of Lincoln Street on the end over there, in Richard Bowers property. When I was informed about it, because of the mud and stuff that was there, leaving on the street and stuff, so we went over there. It is, what they were putting in there was the concrete and stuff on the bottom, so I was told. I couldn't tell you if they put anything in there the days before or not. They did show bills from the dump board there, so I'm just gonna get honest with you. Stopped them from putting it in there because they were fringing on the floodplain back there, real close, and they were told or probably a year ago that when they were talking about dumping stuff from the brick and everything back there, that could not be dumped back in there without a floodplain permit, so. We stopped it. I know if they're in the floodplain, I mean, you're just looking at the maps off of Beacon, they're right there. So like I said, I'm not sure how much they put in, it's hard to tell.
So this is the company that was,
Yes.
Still on the demolition?
They said the property owner came up and asked if he could dump them in there, that he wanted, that was what. The
property owner asked.
done the job, yeah. So, not the Lincoln property, the
Yeah,
property where
I
it
know
was being.
what you're
Mr.
saying.
Bowers asked for the
Yes.
Yes, I know, that's what I understood that, yeah.
Which
So,
is not uncommon for, you know, a property owner to ask if you're hauling it, can you dump me some?
yeah,
So,
but they were informed that they
right,
probably need flood permit before they start dumping. That was probably over a year ago when they were first talking about, it might have been two.
Just in case you were getting any calls, I wanna make sure.
Okay.
Anything else?
is there anything we can do after the fact on this?
Well, we'd have to, we'd have that survey, or weed survey to see if it's actually in the floodplain. Like I said, I was just looking off of the Beacon. map.
Right.
There. And, that'd be the one thing to do, and then we'd take it out if it is.
Right. And the only reason I'm asking is I fielded a handful of phone calls on this, and the residents in that area are not happy about it a bit. It's being dumped over there, and I just not trying to, you know, have anybody feel like they're sitting in a hot seat or whatever, but if they were already told not to.
Well, they were told they could, but they'd have to get a floodplain. Now, where they actually put it at, I don't know. I was never in that area. I don't know if they filled in a low spot and brought it up, or if they were dumping it over the bank. It doesn't look like a whole lot was over the bank. That's why I said if you look at floodplain maps, it's
Right.
it's a just no. I suppose we could have somebody come out and survey and see.
I'm just asking the questions I was asked to ask today.
I said, if you look at the floodplain maps, it's there. It's doesn't look like it's
Right.
it's tough to say. So.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Tim. Erin, do you want to do the fiscal year budget review before I do city council updates and?
I was gonna let department heads go.
Okay,
Although this won't take us long.
okay,
Right, so-
okay, okay, right, that's fine. Okay, do you wanna let me go now, or do you want to see, we'll do city council updates first. Brian, did you have anything?
The only thing that I have was, I had a couple of people that wanted us to think about doing golf carts around town. ATVs around and side by sides. I had a few people that have reached out to me that want to know if something can be done where they can run their golf carts around town as well. I know Delhi does it, but you know,
Smaller
lot
town.
smaller community. So I just thought it'd break, get the ball rolling here and get that in everybody's mind that. You'll probably have more calls on it.
No, I've gotten a couple on it too, and I always ask them, I said, if the council passed it to go to golf cart, how are you going to make it have lights on it, which would be required by the state?
Yeah.
You have, I mean, how is that? They don't make light packages for golf carts, do they?
Yeah,
They do.
You can get lights and blinkers for all of them.
Oh, really?
We can all play road use tax.
I still-
We'll let them on the road.
Yeah. I can ask Ben, I'm sure he would help you.
Yeah.
So I can tell him if they're brought up and see.
Been brought up and just,
See, have him get information.
There's no licensing for a golf cart, right? Would you just have to do some kind of registration?
There would have to be registration for it if you take it on public ground. So like with me riding dirt bikes, when I go over to like Waterloo or
Yeah.
down to 600 acres, those are public parks. If I don't have a sticker, the DNR or sheriff's deputy will get you.
Yeah,
And it used to be, you could roll the dice and get away with it. I will tell you that the last probably 20 times I've been out riding, I can count maybe 3 that I didn't see somebody out checking tags. Like they're getting serious about it now.
yeah. What tag do you put on a golf cart? That's, I didn't know.
It'll just be a sticker. It's like a 4x4 sticker on it and it's got a color.
City of Colesburg does a tag for theirs.
Yeah, we do it in Delaware too.
Coggin does, and Delhi does, they do tags that they gotta be purchased by the city.
They're numbered.
And, obviously we require.
Yeah, some-
Turn signals and brake and all that.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Yeah.
I guess my 2 cents of it is I take my chances on a golf cart for all these scooters running around. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't disagree.
Which is more dangerous. You
The
really.
biggest problem with the golf carts is, they're gonna wanna run it right down 13,
I think we'd have to have same as the UTV.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't have a UTV on 13 anyway.
Or drive down it.
I know, but they do.
Yeah.
Down North Frankfurt all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a great question to pose when Mr. Davis is in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what we discussed, when we discussed UTVs in town, Chief Hochschild was still here and he brought this up as a point that this will be the next thing they ask for.
Pandora's box already been opened.
I believe he said that Independence allowed golf carts at that time, and that's the one thing that our police chief told Hochschild that he wished he would.
Would have done.
Yeah.
Was a golf cart.
Yeah, police chief and we have a different take
I
on.
wish if they're gonna let everybody ride those things around and they all need to have road use tax, they need to pay some kind of licensing and everything else, just like anything other
Disagree.
vehicle. That's my opinion, but anyway.
That's what it is with South Dakota. South Dakota, you gotta get a tag for the trails and you gotta have tag for it.
Yep.
Any of the towns, you have to pay your road, just like your license.
Yeah.
These are the ones that-
And one of the downfalls too on a golf cart is seatbelt.
Mhm.
I don't know on seatbelts, I don't know the ones up there.
I
Not that
I don't know anything about golf carts. I barely know anything about golf.
If you're on a golf cart, of course, before though, like you should have had a seatbelt.
Okay, anything else? Okay, thank Miriam? Joe?
I've been asked by a handful of downtown business owners, what is the benefit of them having a business in downtown Manchester?
I say they should talk to their chamber of commerce.
Yeah, it was just a question that was asked is, what benefit or what it, I mean, there's some of the businesses that feel like they can just do it out of their house and not be downtown. And
I can't answer that.
no, but I mean, they're asking what's the benefits. Chamber can only do so much for them and they see, right.
So much too.
They see what we're doing for developers and stuff and it was just brought up, so I just figured I'd pass the message along.
I guess if they're downtown, they can get downtown outside, so they couldn't get if they were in there. And many of them are using those to good advantage for their businesses.
Me?
Yes, it's your turn.
Real quick, 28 years I was in business, I was downtown. I would have a lot of people passing through downtown. I mean, a lot of people come from the big city to head north to go see their cabin, whether it was up in Gothenburg or whether it was up in downtown, and you'd have people stop. The big key is your storefront and how it looks, your signage out front. In the 28 years, I was not big on Facebook because they didn't make it back then yet. So, still not good. Really not.
You're really not.
I'm not. I will tell you, I was just up in Minnesota to see a very dear friend of mine for his 50th birthday, so I toured his big town, 8,800 people. I was shocked. Their downtown is kind of, they have empty storefronts. And it was crazy on how many empty storefronts. What I noticed about their downtown, they had neat street lights, but they had no signage on the poles of welcome to our town or welcome to this. It's pretty much a main drag, 2 big roundabouts through the town. And then just a couple strip malls here, a strip mall over here that had 4 or 5 businesses empty, another one emptied. But what I found also funny was they had no Dollar General, no Dollar Tree, not a Walmart. I mean, my buddy told me, he said 20 years ago, Walmart tried to come in, they cleared the spot, thought they had something, but they wouldn't let them in. He feels that their town is struggling trying to keep people in their town, but they had tons of, am I saying it right, duplexes, the 2-story duplexes where you have townhouses. Man, they had them all over the place. And he said that's kind of what the town was built up after. They have some nice residential areas, but it's townhouses after townhouses, just everywhere. But he said, yeah, if you have 2 grocery stores, but other than that, they don't really have, if you're looking to buy I don't know, card paper for something for your kid to build something for school. No, he says we've got to run 20 miles to the next town before we can get something.
How big a town did you say it was?
It was 8,800, and it's south and west of the cities. We were just an hour. Basically, if anybody knows where Shakopee is, we were basically straight south of Shakopee, about 45 minutes. And it was just strange.
Yeah.
I mean, good roads, it was weird up there, but the streets really weren't any wider than our streets, and their downtown looked, I just want to say it needed help. So I don't know if it's just Iowa or if it's part of Minnesota, but they said, no, they even had a pizza ranch. They've lost their pizza ranch. So, which I found it strange, but yeah, we looked all over for a diner. And that was hard to
The
find.
thing is that people, their businesses, is what are they doing to attract customers too?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, they'd asked me the question.
Yeah.
Well, we're not doing it, I don't think we're doing anything bad or
No.
good. I think it's just, it doesn't matter what city you go in and
Right.
drive through, all their storefronts. It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you go, and I don't know if it's, I don't have an answer. You go to any 5,000 up and it's the same thing. They're,
Everywhere.
it's like everybody, all the places that they don't wanna be downtown, they'd rather build one that, the outside of town, like our West End.
Yeah.
And go out there in a strip mall versus being downtown. So I don't know if there's more incentive we can, I don't know what the answer is there.
Right, I didn't.
You go to Galena though, their whole downtown, it's what the experience is. And I
Right.
think Amazon has taken away from what we had for the local shops so many
Yeah.
times. Everybody gets on Amazon or whatever. It's not that you have that tangible thing, and
Right.
no offense to younger generation, but I don't think they care about that tangible thing like us older people who we had to touch things to make sure we liked them or.
Well, I got the old blood in me then, if
Yeah.
it comes to that.
But I mean, it's just, it's easy. They don't want to drive somewhere. I don't have time, so I'm gonna order it online. I think people like more experience.
Elena's fighting.
They are
They
fighting to get
have
something.
And the worst thing about having a business downtown, my end, I got the parking, I got people that can come out there, you got a storefront down there. And you're you're lucky, you got.
That also, when that dentist office fills up,
When it fills up, then.
you're in a lot.
Sorry,
But the same thing was in that town we were just in, they had no real good off-street parking.
Yeah.
It was all parallel parking,
Yeah.
you know.
A lot of that probably is the horse and buggy days, and then when you go to the car days, it's just not really, you can't go to the building and move it back to give you more parking,
One of the things that I think we have though, is that at least our businesses stay in business all around. In Galena,
They're not.
if you go in June, you're gonna see a place, and by October, they're out. They move because they can't keep it going for the winter, and then they come back again, and so it's a really different situation.
One of the other things that came up when we went to one of the merchants meetings. I think it used to be we could always count on everybody was open Thursday night.
Yes, exactly.
They don't do that anymore. There's no consistency with the times that the businesses are all open downtown. They're all over the place. And so if I go down there, are they open or aren't they open?
Yeah, a continuity and
A
hours would
continuity,
be really
really
nice.
good.
And an evening that they were open late, like we can go up to Gator, just might go Gator,
Right.
but you can shop there on Saturday and a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And most all their stores.
And most of them here, you can't shop on Saturday.
Or Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Which, sucked for me for a while, but I mean, a lot of it's changed, just in my young life, getting off work second shift and there was half a dozen bars you could go to. Now, you get off second shift, most of them are closed.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought in a million years that you'd see, one of our strongest bars in town have a very, very weak, presence on New Year's Eve. The Riverbend didn't have a whole lot of anybody really in there on New Year's Eve. Bowling Alley was hopping, I heard. I don't know, I was in the.
Okay. Anything else? I just remind everybody, Friday night between 5 and 6:30, the bread basket to meet our city manager candidates. And then we'll be back. You should have gotten your list of where you're supposed to go for interviews. The next day, I had to change a couple of them up because I needed to get Laura back at the chamber and Dave Smith. I was trying to keep it more girls, boys kind of thing, and I messed it up. So we start be at your spot by 8 o'clock, and then at 8:15 they'll start doing things, and they'll have packets for you to pass out at that time. So we can, and then we will meet back here after all the interviews and have a discussion with the panel before we'll make a decision and hopefully hire somebody. So
Is anybody else going Wednesday?
Will we all fit in here?
We're gonna squeeze in.
yeah, I think there's a total of 20. I was totally honest. There's 25 of us all together.
We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. If we-
Yeah, and Laura and I, that conversation, it'll just be easier to be here, so we're gonna make it work.
Well, I'll go down and I'll try and be as loud as I can for all.
Good luck.
Thank you, Joe. See,
Especially-
find that representative.
Oh, I'm gonna look for this.
Library.
We're gonna have, I wanna know why this even makes sense.
Yeah.
I just wanna understand the logic behind it.
Okay. All right, and thank you all for serving on that. I'm very grateful for that. Do we want to let all of you guys can go?
I mean, you're welcome to stay, but you can go.
All right.
I think that one needs to stay a little longer.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Doug, I will make those times work. I'll call Don and I'll see if that will do.
What time would be the latest on that day?
Get out, sign, get a perfect panel.
I'll try to earlier.
If we do it earlier, I can
Let's
take
take
that.
it.
Take that out.
Okay, I'll shoot that.
I could do up to.
Have you run down prospect replacement?
They
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
Oh, really?
If-
We should.
if they- well, yeah, let me get it.
We can look at it, yeah.
That'd be great. I'll get these reps. I can bring it to Jamie, I'm gonna shoot that to him today.
Okay, police station.
Well, I'm mailing tonight.
Was,
But
Jordan Rock.
Yeah.
It literally was.
You know,
And if people don't have to use here, if we get them.
Well, it's like Galeno's. So we went to Galeno one time and couldn't find anywhere to park and you see this little parking lot up on the north side. Well, I've been a lot of room.
There was one other thing I ran into.
Track where it was at. Well, in there, we went down, we went, hit a couple of shops and come back and I got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
Apparently parking in the police parking lot is, I didn't even know that it was the police parking lot.
I mean, I just have a situation of the Strawberry family, my brother-in-law's mother, and they could do golf carts. If she lost her license, this is the way that she could have some independence.
And so.
Yeah, like what Ruth is doing, she wants to make those grocery stores, I get it. It's
Yeah.
I
Okay,
know, but we are saying in Delhi or
yes, we're still recording, everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm not gonna keep you long on the fiscal year budget review. My primary thing has been, we have a March 5th deadline to get the information to the auditor for that mailing that they send out. So that's primarily general fund, employee benefits, and debt service. So I have gone through all of those items. And where I am coming at for levy rate, so this first sheet at the very bottom is $14.96. I have tried last year, second sheet shows you in the first column where we were at last year. Last year, we were at $15.45, 0.45410. The only way I could get us there would be if I paid down some debt, paid off some debt early, but then that would, the one that would be eligible to pay off would get us, would take us then from 1496 to 1566, which would put us higher levy rate than last year. So I don't know if you wanted to do that, I could pursue that further. Otherwise, it's looking like our levy rate will be just under $15 for this next year.
It is still a decrease, though. I mean,
It is a
so,
decent,
yeah. I
it's
guess
a
I
decent
think
decrease. It makes me nervous decreasing that much, but I've triple checked the numbers and I've put a little, like on the insurance, there's the law enforcement is gonna be, the law enforcement piece is gonna come in a little higher, so I put a little cushion in there on the FICA and IPERS and the other employee benefits, just in case our group insurance and our work comp come in a little higher. I've built in a little bit of a cushion there so that, we wouldn't be caught off guard. Debt service, that is pretty much what it is, our payments for the year. So there's not much I can do there, and that includes us paying $200,000 this year right away on that 26 loan that will be letting, so.
When were you talking about implementing the rate increase on water and sewer?
That'll be,
Was that July one?
yeah, that would be, well, I look at what we did last year, but I think it was July 1.
So,
I am gonna need to meet, I'm gonna need to have us meet again on March 16th, so we can
Okay.
just dive down into the water, sewer and streets.
okay,
Just because I've had to focus on the general fund piece of it.
okay.
I built this budget based on the requests that we've had from department heads. And we are finishing still with the surplus. I'll have those numbers for you as well. So, the only thing I did not include, and we've talked about this in years past, we budget for items, but then they also still have to come to the council for approval. So the department heads all know, just because it's budgeted for, doesn't mean that you're gonna get it or that we're gonna do
In
it.
case
So,
something happens.
yeah, so I included everything but the Central Park project that Doug had in his budget. So that was a $200,000 project. And I felt like we needed to, look at how we were gonna finance that. I didn't wanna hit it all out of the general fund. But otherwise, I included everything in, and I will bring you a sheet that shows you where our funds are projected to finish, June 30 of this year and June 30 of next year, but running all these numbers, we're gonna finish in the positive on the general fund. So, so this is what I'm proposing to send over to the county auditor, unless you would like me to try and throw in paying off the debt, but that would mean an increase in property taxes.
I think this is fair to myself.
Okay,
I'm really pleased
okay,
that we're able to go down that far, so.
I would be in favor of this,
okay.
where it stands right now.
So it is, you know, the sheet that goes out, last year we had 11% change, this year it'll be a 7.4% change. So it does talk about like the city regular residential. Basically, there wouldn't be a change for that, it would be the commercial that would see the 7% change. It's the very bottom 4 rows, so it talks about a house that's 100,000, it goes to 110, they're not gonna see an increase on the proposed budget. A commercial will see a little bit of an increase. Just because of the nature of how they're taxed, so.
Okay.
Didn't we used to put a little bit into capital improvement reserve? Oh, we did.
For,
I thought it was,
we do, I mean, we do put like fire truck, the fire.
Right.
We allow a portion to go to the truck reserve. But we don't use, there's a capital improvements levy and we don't use that. That has to be voted on. That, is that the one you're talking about, the second from the bottom on the front sheet? That capital projects.
yeah,
capital- That's a voted on levy,
oh,
so that is not one we've had.
if someday we ever saved enough money or did a new city shop, that's technically probably what that would have to go under.
We could vote on it for that, that allows us to levy a certain dollar amounts to go towards capital projects. Probably a city shop would go under debt service. We would probably borrow for it and then pay it off with debt service funds. So this is for your information. The 16th, we'll go through the final sheets and talk about the water and sewer increases where our budget goes at 7%, show you what that finishes up like, give you the final fund balances, information. I will note that we are seeing a significant increase in franchise fees because of the crypto mining. Last month we got over $30,000 just for that. I am working with Dorsey and Whitney on a potential little bit of a rebate. I think Tim had talked with you guys about that beforehand, rebating a portion of those back to the crypto mining place because the sales tax rebate they used to get the state took that away. So, Dorsey is working on how they would structure that, but still that's a nice bump up in our franchise fees. So that is a good thing to see. Yeah, other than that, that's where we're sitting with the budget.
Good job. Good job, Aaron.
As far as
Thank you.
the water rates, that 7%'s not enough to get us in the green. Would you let us know what percent would need to be?
Yeah, I'll run a couple of numbers. I think 7% will be good on, but I will double check those numbers and run some scenarios for you. I'll do the same thing that Tim did years past where it shows you like if you use 1,000 or 3,000, whatever. So,
Yeah, I just get kind of nervous with that house file or whatever they keep trying to pass about limiting how much we can raise water rates. Like to be not trying to play catch up at that point if we could.
yeah, and they're still monkeying around with property tax bill. I don't think they made any decisions. I was reading some of the language today and, you know, not only do they want to reduce how much you can get in property taxes, but then they want you to only be able to keep 10% of your general fund in reserve. Which we try to keep a percentage of our general fund in reserve because for those first months of the fiscal year, July, you know, during the summer months, we're not getting much in property taxes and we are paying out wages and all of that. So I don't know what the rationale is in only allowing us to keep 10% in reserve, but
Did you hear, did the one about the police, did that one make it through the final?
that didn't make it through the final.
Which one? I
The
thought it
one
did.
that
What about,
cities under 6,000.
oh, that one didn't make it through,
What was
okay.
that?
That was one where they were wanting, and I don't know where they got 6,000 from, but they were wanting. They didn't say the exact basis of the year, like every couple of years for a city to do cost comparison of what it costs us to have our own police force
Compared to.
compared to what it would cost the county to provide us services, and then if it would be cheaper for the county to provide us services, we had to go to a vote of the people to let them decide if we should keep our own police force or if we should contract with the county.
So the one that made it through the funnel is the back blue, which means that,
All the wage increases.
yeah, the wage increases is gonna be a problem there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Is that more county or is that city?
That was more county.
It's gonna be more county, but the problem is,
Then we're gonna be competing.
We're gonna be competing.
yes.
Because the sheriff deputy is supposed to make 85% of what the sheriff makes?
Yeah, I think that's how they do it here. Yeah. So it's a big jump up for,
It'd be huge.
for the sheriff. And I'm not sure exactly how they compute it, but it would be a significant budget increase for the county, and then it would make it more difficult to get a police officer
Right.
if they can go to the county or
Right.
us.
For sure.
We'd end up, I mean, the small municipalities be ones taking cops that are trying to cut their teeth.
Mhm.
You know, young guys, that,
Right.
you know, you're gonna have all the people that got experience going to the sheriff departments and all the no experience guys to be coming to the cities.
Yeah. So that's really all I have for you for the budget tonight. I just want to make sure you're comfortable with us seeing a decrease. And, let you know that we were able to fit in with everything that they had requested with the way, 3% wage increase and all that. So, yeah.
Good job, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
So that's all I've got.
All right. Okay, so nothing else to talk about. I'll take the motion from Diane, a second from Mary Ann, we're adjourned.